Alright, so welcome to another episode of Inspired Content, where I almost said taste testing, because that's the thing I managed to get a lot of done lately, but this is a testing of a board game. So it's board game week here, and VisualEyes. Is it backwards for you guys or just for me? This is VisualEyes, the what you see is what you get game, and basically pretty straightforward. The box comes with a little minute sand timer or whatever it is. I don't know how long it runs actually. Do they call it a hourglass timer? Yeah, that doesn't run an hour. And then you've got a bunch of pencils and scorecard. Come on, there you go, scorecard. And then some tablets to write some things down on. And the meat and I guess the meat and bones of the game here are these oversized dice that are stickered. So these dice, you have to apply the stickers yourself, and you have to put them on in the right order. But each side of the dice have there you go, pictures of simple cartoony images. Now, the way this works, it's pretty straightforward. The mechanics of this game are that I don't actually want to do this part right now because it's super loud, but well, I could give it a go. See how the mic handles it. You essentially put the dice in the box. You put the box, you close the box with the dice in there. Oof, that's loud. Right? And then there are the die you have to pay attention to here is this one here. It says slow play or fast play. And depending on which way that pops up, if it's slow play, what you do is you take out your hourglass and you set it up, and as it's running, you take your tablet of plain paper, everybody has one, and a pencil, and you start looking at the dice and seeing if you can find pairs of dice that, when put together as pictures, say something. So you might take the shoe and the light bulb and light-footed. I mean, trying to find a few others, and you're doing that with the timer running. Pie. See, I'm not very good at this. I mean, we've got here, this one has a tall person and a short person, and you have a night sky or a starry sky. Look, starry sky. So you might be able to get away with a long night with that one, but that's something that as you play, your group that you're playing with, if they say like, no, that's either tall or short, big or little, but it's not long. So like you can be voted out. you can get one of your ones chosen as not a successful pick. But everybody writes down and doesn't tell anybody which ones they're writing down until they've got their big list. Then you go around and you compare, and the first person who says one thing gets to keep it. So if I were going first and you were going second, and I did light foot, and you had light footed on your card, then you don't get to get the point for it. I do, because I said it first. And then the hope is that you come up with a bunch of creative ones, but I feel like, yeah, that might be a little hard, and it might get kind of contentious with some of the people I know. But there's also the other mode of that's slow play. That was the slow play version of it, and you gather points for each pair that you combine into a phrase. And then fast play is you look at the box, and as you're doing that, you're trying to find a pair that combine right. So this one, theoretically, this one is a runner going fast, and this one is a glass of water. And so I could potentially say, like, running water. And, I have to wait to see if anybody goes, well, it's purple, so it's obviously grape juice or something, so you can't count it as water. And if more people say that I can't say for sure that's water, then I don't get the point for it. But if I do get the point for it, I take the dice and we count it off to the side after everybody's grabbed a pair that they found on there. So you use up the dice that way. And it's important to note that, like, with that, you can do phrases. It's not just 2 words, and each die doesn't have only one meaning. Like, this is a light bulb, light, idea, bright, shine, maybe even glow. I mean, honestly, it could be any one of those things. And the other thing to keep in mind is, like, you can use, in the slow play style, you can use one die in 2 different 2-word phrases, because nobody's claiming them. They're not being pulled out of the box. So they're still there to go back to. So you could do matches, so it would be like burning or fire. So it would be oh, I don't know. I don't have anything I could use for that right now. What do we got? We've got to have something. Yeah. Of course, I'm turning up every. Like, I'm doing really bad at this tonight. You could do maybe like the dice are hot. And come on, there's got to be your hot little hands, and it still works. Like, you can do 2 of them and use this one for both of them. That's in slow mode. I can't believe it took me that long to do that. I am sorry. But anyway, so that's really the game. That is all there really is to it. You're aiming for it, like it says. The goal of the game is to get 20 points, scoring 1 point for each unique word combination. Now, I'm sure you can play shorter games of like running to a score of 7 to 10, and that'd be a quickie game that you can play with family some afternoon or evening. Maybe do it during dinner and just have a little fun at a dinner with friends. I don't know. All right, so that's the game. I will review it, and then I will give you 6 ideas for new games inspired by this. All right, so I would say as a simple fun game, I would give this maybe a 5.1 out of 5.6. I can see potentially doing this with some friends and family, and it's something you can do with younger people too. So if you've got young people in the family, it's a easier game to play with people who maybe aren't up to more complicated games. I can't say as I would spend a lot of time bringing this to social gatherings of people 20 or over. Maybe if there's drinking going on and it's a good group of people that are fun to do this with. But I think it's limited in what I could do with it. Now, as for inspirations and ideas of things we can make out of this, okay, number one, the first thing that occurred to me is these are an awful lot like dad jokes. And I think to do it better, like I wouldn't necessarily use the dice for it, but and I'm not sure what mechanics I would use, but Dad Jokes, the board game, seems like an absolute winner if you can figure it out. Number two. I feel like a game sort of like Candyland, where instead of the gumdrop forest, every area of the board is some sort of dad joke or bad pun, where it's all just sort of like a snarky commentary kind of game. And maybe even have gameplay parts that require you to rub your ducky or something like that. It's just a stupid thing you have to do to make it through certain sections of a game. That's all I can think of with that one. And then 3, this could be fun for story writing. Rolling them out and then in the middle of the table, and then everybody has the same set of dice, and then you compare, like, I'm pretty sure I can use 5. Somebody else might be able to use 7 of the dice to tell a story. And whoever has the highest number has to tell the best story using the most dice. And that brings me to number 4, which is using them for poems. I can see rolling these around in the box and pulling one out blind and setting it on the table the way you pull it out, so that whatever's on top, you now have to write a poem about it. And since they're 6-sided die, you can pass it along to the next person, and they rotate it to one side, and whatever's on that, if you have if you have 6 or less people, each person gets to pick a face of that die, and they have to write a poem in the next 5 minutes or so. All right, and then number 5. This could be fun for like a Pictionary style game where you roll them out and you use them to name a book or a movie or something. Like you might have the bird and the starry sky or something, and maybe it's Howard the Duck. Like you're trying to imply the duck from space. And so, like, trying to spell out a movie title or a book title with the dice, uh, I think it might be a possible use for these outside of the usual VisualEyes gameplay. And then number 6 is doing a set of dice that are letters, and when you roll them out, you have to create a sentence with each word in the sentence starting with one of the letters you rolled. Now, I don't know if you'd have to make exceptions for things like the, a, and, but I think that could be an interesting game to see, like, if you can get the most points for the longest sentence that way. All right, so those are the ideas for this round. I'm still trying to get used to getting back into doing this. I believe the next episode will be a product or service, right? Yeah. So that should be Monday. And I'll see you then. Take care of yourselves.